going to the minors to be a head coach and put everything together. I needed a guy like him to guide me. They drop the puck and away we go. First of 4 meetings this season between these two division rivals. Here's Andrew Peeke. At the red line, he'll wing it in. Talbot back to get it. It rolls over his blade. Centered out in front, and the Bruins knock it off some of the traffic and wide. Lindholm to Middlestad. Now Hustadinov. And it's rimmed around. Middlestad scored yesterday against the Rangers. As this puck is sent on net by Zacha. He said a lot of guys would have pulled the chute in that situation. Puck cued up top. Hamonic with a drive, kicked out by Swayman, the captain of the Red Wings. Zacha sets it up for Middlestad, drops. Zacha shoots. Talbot the save, the rebound. Flipped it to the corner. Chasing is Steeves. Held in by Lohrei. Now Steeves shoots off the crossbar with a rocket. Seider now eludes Steeves. And it's driven out to the neutral zone. Edvinsson drops and drives to Brinket. Shoots. Easily bottled up by Swayman. He'll rotate it and send it up top. Edvinsson shoots. Blocked again. Lifted to the corner. Set on net by Finney and Swayman the save. 4 consecutive 30-goal seasons. That hasn't been done in Detroit since Henrik Zetterberg. Raymond to Brinket into the slot, and Larkin denied. Chop over to Raymond. Now Seider. Raymond lost it, and the Bruins clear. Zadorov in the box another 45 seconds. He is a key to the Bruins penalty kill. Brought in by the wings. Danielson shoots. Swayman kicked it out.
They need it on the PK. And it happens right here on a break-in. Bruins get caught a little bit flat-footed at the blue line. Danielson walks in all alone.
Lohrei wrestles it free. Raymond got it up top. Picked off in the slot. Maybe a breakaway chance for Geekie. Shoots. And Talbot answers with the left leg. And Razor, we're going to take a look at this chance by Morgan Geekie and a great stop by Cam Talbot.
It was, John. Similar decision by both players on the breakaway. Morgan Geekie's a shooter, guys. We know he's a shooter. He looked for that low glove.
Geekie dives in, got a piece of it with his skate. Geekie across, drilled, Talbot the save. Down the wall, Hustadinov pulls free, shakes off Casper. Rotates up top, leaves for Zadorov, got a pick, shoots, Talbot fought it off. To Corrali. Back of the net, looking for Steeves. Bruins making a few changes. Geekie centered, it didn't get to Corrali cleanly. Now digging away is Callahan down low. Steeves races. Sherratt gave it away. Sent out in front. They score! That's 19 goals for Morgan Geekie. A crafty tip. Bruins 1, Red Wings nothing.
I mean, this is just good work. Steve's at the dot. He's the third man. He goes aggressive on the forecheck. Sherratt passing it to nobody but Lindholm, and he just sends it nice and hard, very tippable.
And now Kane sits his way ahead. 6 on 5. Through a check. Shoots. Swayman kicks it out. And Swayman will cover it up. Finney. Copp had it. Lost it. In the slot. Danielson out in front. Swayman a poke check. And then Swayman denies Rasmussen on the turnaround shot.
Rasmussen can get across the front of the net much easier.
Lohrei. His shot off a leg, follows up, chopped it to the corner, Asimont. Corrali. And Bruins are going to have to back out, tag back up. Here's Viel, shoots, blocked, Asimont, backhand. Talbot knocked it down. Out in front, Corrali digging away, and Talbot puts his glove on top of this one. Team that likes to score off the rush. What have they had? 1 odd man chance?
Yeah, they had the breakaway on a...
Make it 2. Left to the net. This shot, stop. Off the stick of Casper as Swayman would not leave the post. He hasn't budged on opportunities like that. Making those saves look easy. Cutting in is Edmondson. Going wide. Swayman stays with it. Stops that second chance. Gloved over to the corner.
And now on this last shift, two pretty good attacking the net rushes.
Softly to Lindholm. Up the wall and out. Now Middlestad. Angles left. Shoots. Pluckered aside by Talbot. Elias Lindholm directing traffic. Off the draw. It's underneath one of the Red Wings. 2 seconds left. Shot coming in. Talbot the save. Just as time expired. So let's see what these first few shifts in the third period look like. Seider flips it in. Right on net. Swayman stops it as Seider was making a peek. Stayed with his check. Does that count as a hit? Puck backhand into the corner. Janot. Aspero shoots, and it's taken in by Talbot. Had it poked off his stick. Zadorov takes a look. Took the contact. Poked out in front. Swayman the save. Rebound sent wide. Lohrei. Oh, picked off. Dangerous pass. Here's Finney. Left circle. Shoots. Swayman eats it up. The Green Bay native slammed around. Out at center ice. The Bruins read it. But cutting in is Compher. Shoots. Swayman stayed with it with the left leg.
Especially in the third period. Zadorov gets beat to the puck in the neutral zone. Swayman able to stay with it.
Now Danielson will race ahead. Hands for Casper. Swayman takes that in. Raymond. Finney. Kostadinov's got it. Gave it back. Sent out in front. They score. Lucas Raymond converts off the turnover to tie the game at 1.
Well, we'd said it, the Bruins were relying a little too much on Swayman in a one-goal game. Stadinov, a young player, makes some really good plays, and here he is. He's going to back check. He makes the steal, but then it's just a giveaway right back. And as soon as you see a team...
Zacha denied the pass. Larkin stayed with it. Seider shoots. Swayman the save. Zadorov bothered by Raymond. Zadorov back to get it. Escapes Larkin. Up the wall, Zacha. His lead pass picked off. And Swayman a blocker save on Raymond. Out it comes. Sent in by Janot. He'll chug after it. And it crashes in. Aspero's got it. Shoots. Kicked out by Talbot. Lindholm. To Lindholm. To the slot. Middlestad. Geekie shoots. He scores! How about a filthy little one-timer on the power play? He blows it by Talbot. He's got 2 tonight. 20 on the season. That ties for the league lead. Bruins 2, Red Wings 1.
The first entry that tried to go to the wall. This time it works. Lindholm to Lindholm, and then Elias just waits. It backs people up and finds Middlestat in the high slot. When people converge on him, somebody's going to be open. And of course, it's the guy that can shoot the puck, who's shot ready, deadly accurate, great release. That puck's even forward on him just a little bit, but he keeps his feet light so he can slide into it.
Backhanded out, 2 minutes to go. Larkin. To Kane, center, they score! Backdoor cutting in. Michael Rasmussen ties the game at 2.
But you can see where the Bruins overcommit to one side, and now it's just too late. If you don't have the back check covered, you can't be aggressive to the middle of the ice. 2 perfect passes.
Saucered it ahead to Geekie. He'll rush over the line. Fakes. Drops. Lohrei shoots. Talbot fought it off. Lindholm fires just over the crossbar. 10 seconds left.
Little pump fake here at the blue line. 2-on-3. The drop pass, and now Lohrei comes with good timing. Trying to sneak one top shelf, but...
Goes left. Cuts back to the middle. Shoots. Swayman got it with the glove.
Nice stop. Change of pace in terms of speed. Gotta put the brakes on a little bit, and then the little shuttle step.
He collects, angles to the right circle, now to the middle, slows, backhand, he scores! What a crafty move that was!
He's going to come in on that offside like most players like to. Get to the middle, give yourself some options, little pump fake.
He'll motor into the slot, slows, stick handles, shoots, Swayman just picked it out of the air!
Complete stop, but he still is moving forward.
Geekie to win it. Game on his stick to the slot. Swatted out of there by Talbot.
Oh, big stop by Talbot. This building was ready to explode with Geekie coming in. Pair of goals tonight. Gets denied. On his breakaway early in the game, one club side. This time, try to go block him.
DeBrincat has to score here to extend the game. Twist to the slot. Swayman! Look at that celebration! Bruins win! A spectacular night here at TD Garden.